Let's start the show, and the first thing that I want to discuss is my favorite YouTube channels of 2022. First up, all of the audio channels. I'm not going to list all of them because that would be boring for you. It would be boring for me. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this podcast, chances are you already follow them. If you don't, go to the Podcastage YouTube channel, and then there is a tab called Channels. And in there is a header titled Get a Second Opinion. That lists a bunch of audio channels that I recommend. A lot of them don't share the same opinion as me. And that is why I list them. I trust them to a certain extent. I don't know them from Adam or Eve or whatever the saying is, so I can't vouch for them 100% of the way. But I will say they seem very trustworthy. Go check them out if you want more. And the reason it's called Get a Second Opinion, I don't want you to just listen to me. I have occasionally, very rarely, gotten comments that have said, I only trust you. I only trust your videos. And my response is, stop it. Stop it. You should not just be trusting me. Go listen to somebody else as well, get their opinion, and then listen to 5 more samples and make the most informed purchasing decision that you can. That's why it's there, so go check them out. Then, number 2, watch content. I consumed a lot of watch content in 2022, but not as much as 2021, and there is a very specific reason. I noticed an issue. I won't call it a trend, but I noticed something that started to really bother me. What was bothering me, a lot of these YouTubers were focusing heavily on the value of the watches they were covering. A lot of them focused on the value of the watches they were discussing. A lot of those people are also watch dealers. They sell watches. And what is the narrative they are pushing? Oh, these are great investments. You need to buy it. Buy the right one. It'll never drop in value. It will just skyrocket. It's a great way to save your money. Put your money in watches as a safe investment. And I walked away from all of those people because that seems incredibly shady. I studied finance in college. That was my post-grad degree. Would it be a post-grad master's degree? I don't know. Post-grad seems like doctor. No, post-grad. I wasn't a post-grad. It was a graduate school. So it was just a graduate school, not post-grad. I'm not a doctor. I would make you call me Dr. Bandrew if I had a PhD. Don't believe for a second I wouldn't. If you want to call me Dr. Bandrew, I won't stop you. I won't correct you, but just know I am not a doctor. Not a doctor. Not financial advice. Somebody was saying that should be a podcast, not financial advice. I think that's a great idea. But I understand why this is such crappy behavior because I studied the financial crisis surrounding all the subprime mortgages. And what was the narrative there? Housing prices will always go up. So who cares if you have a fixed rate mortgage for 5 years, a fixed and then floating after that? Who cares what the interest is? Because after 5 years, if you can't afford it, sell it. You'll be extremely rich. You'll grow your wealth. But what happens if the housing prices, if the value of the homes decreases? Oh, don't worry about that. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. No, housing prices will never go down. Yeah, sure. So I got very shady vibes from these people, and I just stopped watching a lot of them. There's still a lot of good watch content, but I've stopped watching a ton because bad vibes. I almost threw this card away. I still have to go through the actual channels that I'm shouting out. Number 1, it's a channel called Future Proof. This is a channel that I think the entire focus is trying to eliminate excess environmental pollution. So they are focusing on what are the ethics of the manufacturing processes of a brand like Hydro Flask? Where do they produce them? What kind of materials do they use? How are they rated by these environmental rating agencies? That's the focus of them, but they also focus on the thing that drew me to them. because I don't care about the environment. Burn it all down. Somebody's not going to get that's a joke. But I like it because they focus on the durability and the longevity of products. And that's something that's not really focused on too heavily. A lot of YouTube is focused on, oh, just buy the next best thing. This new thing came out, buy this one too. And I don't like that. I like the idea, I made an entire episode about it, the buy it for life mentality. I think that can be abused, but I like the idea of actually doing research and finding an item that will last you maybe not for life. It'll last you 5, 10, 20 years. And if you're paying $40 or $20 over a $5 water bottle and you're getting 10, 15 years of use out of it, I think that's money well spent. I don't watch all of his videos because he talks about stuff that I don't care about as well, but if I am looking for something and he has covered it, I will 100% watch it. He makes very well done videos and very well researched videos. Number 2. The 2 and 3 are going to be a couple of channels. Number 2 is called Dead Mall Series or Retail Archaeology. Those are 2 channels. This says something weird about me. Over the last few years, I have really started to enjoy these walking tours of malls. I don't know what it is. I think it is mainly just nostalgia for the 90s and early 2000s when malls were still really popular places. You'd get $20 and go to a mall and spend your entire evening there. You would be a mall rat. When I was in a band, we would go to the mall. And we were kind of shady. So we would go around to everybody there trying to sell CDs or give away CDs. And in the CD, we would have a flyer to get them to go to our show. And a lot of people don't like metal music. So I don't know why we were doing this, but we would walk around and say, oh, what's your favorite band? What's your favorite musician? They would say Justin Bieber. And we would say, you gotta be kidding me. We take so much inspiration from Justin Bieber. You're gonna love it. Take it and listen to it. There's a flyer. Come to the show. That went right into the trash. I think I'm clipping. That went right into the trash because if they like Justin Bieber, they're not going to like metal. But through that experiment, through that action, I became a bit of a mall rat. And I like malls. I am nostalgic for malls. And both of these channels, Dead Mall Series and Retail Archaeology, do these mall tours. They will go to malls that are dying. And there's something interesting about that as well. This complete shift in economic behavior. Malls were incredibly important. People wouldn't just go there for social reasons. They would go there because it's where you could buy just about anything that you need. That's not the case anymore. I have gone to malls to try to buy stuff, and holy Toledo, it is difficult to actually find what you want. Oh yeah, we could special order that for you. It'll take 3 weeks and then you can come pick it up. You know what? I'll just buy it on Amazon and get it in 2 days. So I get why malls are dying, but they hold a special place in my heart, and those 2 channels are a lot of fun. Number 3, another dual channel, Jeb Brooks and Trek Trendy. Again, over the last few years, I have gotten into this weird practice of watching not tours, but travel videos. There were a few videos that kicked it off for me. There was this Japanese guy who has a camper van, and he did a cooking supper in a camper van in a snowstorm or something, and he didn't speak at all. It was just the environmental sounds. It was incredible. And it was exactly what I needed in the middle of lockdown. Not going anywhere, seeing this guy going on these adventures was so much fun. And then there were a few videos that were just like that, but focused on trains. And that seemed even more exciting too. I've never been a train person, but it was so much fun to get the experience of going on these train trips and getting these beautiful views down the coast of the country. When I can't do that, I'm stuck inside. But Jeb Brooks and Trek Trendy are more narrative-based. They're not this experiential thing like the channels that I just mentioned. Well, I didn't mention them because I can't find them anymore. I don't know what they were called. But They will take you on these trips. Hey, I am going on this first-class bus trip. How is this seat? I'm going on the most expensive train trip in New Zealand. Here's how it is. Here's some footage. Here's what the food's like. And it's just living vicariously through these people with things that are so expensive that I will never in my entire life ever get the opportunity to do it. So those are my favorite YouTube channels of 2022. Check them out if you feel like it.